Sobrado bien, Kratos. El mundo, libre de las cadenas del Olimpo y purificado en el caos, está listo para oír mi mensaje.
Mira a tu alrededor. El mundo es una pura ruina. ¿De qué sirve tu mensaje?
Vete si es tu deber. Pero antes, entrégame el poder que contenía la caja.
La caja estaba vacía.
Eso no es cierto. Puedo verlo en tus ojos. Usaste mi poder para matar a Zeus. Y todavía lo conservas. ¿No lo entiendes? Cuando Zeus reunió todos los males y los encerró en la caja, yo temía lo que sucedería si se volvía a abrir. Así, invoqué el arma más poderosa del mundo y la guardé en la caja.
Te lo dije. Estaba vacía. Pandora se sacrificó en vano. Ella murió debido a mi necesidad de venganza.
Me parece que te equivocas. Usaste mi poder para matar a Zeus. Yo te vi hacerlo. A menos... Por supuesto. Al abrir la caja, liberaste los males sobre los dioses. Los infectaste. Los cambiaste. El propio Zeus sucumbió a la oscuridad. Por eso estaba tan furioso y tan obsesionado con que murieras. Lo había consumido el mal, el miedo. Yo creía que el poder que guardé en la caja nunca salió. Siempre pensé que te serviste de los males para acabar con Ares. Pero me equivoqué. El poder que sacaste de la caja era mío. Te dio fuerza suficiente para enfrentarte a Zeus. El valor necesario para vencer el miedo. En el fondo de tu corazón, Kratos, hay esperanza. Ha permanecido oculto, ahogado por la culpa y por los errores de tu pasado. Cuando tú mataste a Zeus, debiste de provocar que se reanimara. ¿Qué ha sido, Kratos?
La esperanza nos hace fuertes. Ella nos ha traído hasta aquí. Es nuestra arma cuando lo demás está perdido.
¿Qué ha sido, Kratos?
Solamente recuerdo las cosas que he perdido.
Es por ello que has de entregarme el poder. Yo sé qué implica en realidad y dónde debe estar. Confío en que harás lo correcto, Kratos.
No deberías.
Me lo debes, Kratos.
No te debo nada.
Yo te convertí en Dios. Yo te protegí de la cólera del Olimpo. Yo permití que te vengaras de Zeus.
Se acabó, Atenea.
¿Acaso osas oponerte a mí de nuevo?
El fin de mi venganza.
¡No puedes! ¡Necio! ¿Pero qué has hecho? ¡Se supone que era para mí! ¡Ellos no sabrán qué hacer con ella! Me decepcionas, espartano.
going to be great.
I'm very happy with the way God of War 2 came out. Provided we hit our mark, I was pretty confident that our sales would be better than God of War 1, but I was rather skeptical that our reviews would be. God of War 2, I think at the end of the day, probably equaled, if not slightly exceeded the first, which I was not expecting, and it was quite satisfying.
I can't believe I'm fucking doing this.
I deserve this one, then.
This is the final chapter. So I think big goals for me are to finish this off in such a grand, epic fashion, something that is truly befitting of what we've done, what we've set up in 1 and 2.
All right, this is where we made the story.
God of War 2 ended up being everything we ever hoped it would be, and probably a bit more. It got reviewed very well. I honestly feel like it was probably about as good a game as is likely to be made on the PS2, and I'm very proud that we managed to do that.
We're all one big family here at SCEA.
Once you start something, you got to finish it. So that's the way I look at things. God of War 3 is going to be the conclusion to the story. My hope is to make the best effects I can on the last one.
When I think of God of War, I think of the best action platformer out there right now. I think other games and other companies look at us and go, how are they doing it? How can we make it like them? And that's rad, because I've totally been at the company where we looked at that game and went, man, how do we do that, you know?
My main hope is that it escapes the destiny of sequels as well as God of War 2 has escaped the destiny of sequels.
I would be satisfied if we tie it all up and we can kind of close the book. We're past the stage of figuring out what we want to do. We're now in the early phases of sorting out the how we're going to do it.
Next Friday will be my last day at Sony Santa Monica. The bomb was dropped. It was somber and everyone was quiet and no one said anything, and perhaps there was a tad bit of shock. It's killed me because I really do want to say something, but it's just nothing you can say is going to come across as anything but you're an asshole.
When I heard that Corey was going to leave was kind of annoyance more than anything. It's, you know, it takes a long time to make a successful team as much as a successful product. It's always a pain when a key person in that team decides to move on.
First emotion we felt was just shock. Didn't see it coming, didn't expect it. It's like dropping.
The programmer's role in the game is to help make everything a reality.
We make tools that allow the designers and artists to actually make the game.
If the designers want to do something or the artists want to do something, if they're smart, they'll consult us and ask, can we do this? And often we'll say no, and then they'll say we want to do it, and then we'll have to do it.
You give it to them, they give it to you, say what's wrong, then you give it back to them a little bit different, and then they say no, no, no.
Designers are pretty modest in their requirements. Designers are artists. They want the world.
The biggest challenge we face for this round of the game is content. The amount of content we need to put into a PS3 game is just order of magnitude bigger than we had to put into a PS2 game. And to drive that content around the studio, we just face, you know, massive challenges.
We've got a little line emitter here, and it's got these particles, and it squirts them out to the right. And they get to a certain age, and they die. And one of the things we can do is we can change colour of the particle over its lifespan. Starting from bottom to top, these particles start off blue, then go green, then turn red. Now, if I was an artist, I'd make them go like orange to black to whatever to express the effect that they want to. For me, I'm a programmer, so the nice simple programmer graphics nice, bright, solid, simple colours so that I can see when things go wrong. If I run this within Maya, then it runs the tool code that I wrote, which is this stuff, to display on the dev kit. And hopefully, so you can see, they're never going to create anything quite like this because this is horrendous programmer stuff, but they'll take this tech and what they'll do is they'll make fire pots or lava that flows. Anything that's best rendered by creating lots of little primitives and moving them all en masse in slightly different ways that aren't just pre-baked.
This is the soul tech. These are Hades' souls swimming down the river Styx. Right now they're above the river Styx, so I can see them all because the river Styx hasn't been properly watered yet. It was my task here to get them to follow the river along a bendy spline path and then ultimately to attack you. But I haven't done that part yet. Right now I'm just at the basic stage of getting them to swim down the river. The way that I did that was allow the Maya splines to be used and imported into the game, and then allow the designers to specify radii at different points of the curve. So at this point of the curve, the souls will be within that radius, and then as they come along the curve, they'll all be within this smaller radius, and then they can spread back out later here. And this is placed within the canyon just by the file structure. This loop here handles every soul. It updates all 30 of them